You ever stop to think about how our lives are just built on rituals? I mean, from making a New Year's resolution to checking into a hotel, all these moments have their own kind of secret language. It's a specific set of words that gives them real power and meaning. So today, we're going to decode that language, the one we all speak every single day, without even really thinking about it. So let's start with a little bit of a puzzle. What on earth does a promise you make to yourself have in common with checking into a hotel? I know it sounds totally random, right? But stick with me here, because the connection is actually pretty fascinating, and it's all hidden in the specific words we use to get through these moments. All right, first up, let's talk about a ritual that, let's be honest, most of us know all too well. It's that moment on January 1st. You know the one, when we make this big promise to ourselves, all fueled by that powerful, wonderful idea of a completely fresh start. We call it a New Year's resolution. And really, when you break it down, that's exactly what it is. It's a promise to yourself. It's this very personal ritual that's built entirely on the hope of being better, of starting all over again. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? We say something like, my New Year's resolution is to go to the gym every single day. You tell yourself, this is it, this is the year. It's a moment of just pure, unfiltered optimism. But we all know what usually happens next. And yep, this is often the reality. The gym bag you bought, those brand new running shoes, they end up gathering dust. Isn't that a great phrase? It just paints such a perfect picture of our good intentions just slowly being forgotten. That promise just kind of fades away. And this, right here, shows the two key parts of this whole resolution ritual. See, it's one thing to resolve to do something, to make that firm decision. That's actually the easy part. The real challenge, the hard part, is to stick to it, to keep going day after day and not give up. The language itself kind of separates the idea from the actual work. So while trying to stick to a promise can be really tough, there are other personal rituals that are all about the immediate reward. So let's switch gears a little bit from that internal struggle to an act of kindness you do for yourself, the ritual of self-care. And a perfect example of this is getting a manicure. It's a very specific word for a beauty treatment just for the hands and the fingernails. It's so much more than just painting your nails, right? It's a whole process, and it has its own special vocabulary. And this is where the language gets really precise. They don't just cut your nails, they file them. That word implies real precision and care. They don't just clean around them, they remove the cuticles. Every single word points to a specific step in this carefully designed process. It really elevates it from just a chore to a professional service. And what's the ultimate goal here? What's the whole point? It's to pamper yourself. I love that word. It doesn't just mean to treat yourself. It means to treat yourself with incredible care and attention, to really indulge. This is language that basically gives us permission to just sit back and enjoy the whole thing. And here's another one of those very specific words. A coat of nail polish. See, you're not just putting on some color. You are applying a layer, a coat. And to get that perfect deep color, you might need 2 or maybe even 3 coats. This kind of language just adds this whole level of professionalism and detail to the ritual. Okay, so we've looked at the rituals we do for ourselves, but now let's zoom out a little. What about the language of rituals that actually bring us together? That's where we get into the powerful language of celebration. A lot of celebrations have a centerpiece, and for Christmas, it's usually a tree. But it's not just any tree. It's very specifically a pine tree. It's a type of evergreen, and it's chosen for its shape, for its needles, and of course for that distinct, special smell that just fills up the whole house. And what do we do with this tree? We decorate it. We don't just put stuff on it. The word decorate means to make something look prettier, more festive. And the things we use have their own special name too. Ornaments. These aren't just random things, they are special items we hang on the tree to make it beautiful. Okay, another key vocabulary word for this ritual is stockings. Now, these are not the socks you wear on your feet. No. They're these special, really large, sock-shaped bags that have a very specific place, they're hung by the chimney, and a very specific purpose, to be filled with little gifts and treats. Every single word has its own role to play. So far, pretty much everything we've talked about are rituals that we plan for. But what about the language we use when things go, well, completely off script? This brings us all the way back to our first question about the hotel.
Let's dig into the vocabulary of travel surprises, where a very specific script can turn total chaos into a great opportunity.
The whole ritual of checking into a hotel kicks off with this exact phrase. It's almost like a password. I have a reservation under the name. That specific wording is a signal to the front desk staff. It tells them who you are and why you're there. It creates order. But sometimes that order breaks down. So on one hand, you might have a mix-up, a simple confusion or a mistake with your booking. That sounds bad, doesn't it? But this is where the language of travel gets really interesting, because that mix-up can sometimes lead to a complimentary upgrade. Suddenly, the language of problems becomes the language of pure luck. So why does this happy accident even happen? Well, a really common reason is that the hotel is overbooked. That basically means they've sold more rooms than they actually have. For them, it's a problem, but for you, it can turn into a fantastic opportunity. And this is the dream result, isn't it? That amazing moment when a little mix-up and an overbooked hotel turns your standard room into the presidential suite. It's the language of travel turning a potential headache into an awesome story. So you see, whether it's that internal promise of a resolution, the personal care of getting a manicure, the shared joy of hanging ornaments, or the surprising luck of a complimentary upgrade, our lives are just full of these rituals, and they're all defined by their own secret language. And that brings me to a final question for you. What's the secret language of your favorite ritual? Next time, pay attention to the words you use. You might be really surprised by what you find.